Things are getting pretty serious now. This game between Aljaz and Korean Army. Ding ding, the bell is rung by the likes of Aljaz. He's been doing that for a long time now. And this is going to be slightly confusing to some people that pay attention to the background of the webcam. It's a completely different environment, surrounded by the horrible pollution of sports. I feel like I'm going to choke on it, but essentially I'll try and explain it to you. My computer for some time has been having really unusual, very highly obscure software problems. One of which was XSplit not working, so I couldn't use XSplit, and I've been wanting to stream for a very long time. So I ended up doing a Windows reinstall, and great, XSplit now works. At the cost of all my video editing software not working. So long story short, I've had to just start life again. I've acquired somebody else's houses. They don't seem to mind because they're not here right now. So not quite that. Basically, I've been invited to my friend's house, and he's given me a graphics card, an NVIDIA one instead of an ATI one, and the problem has been solved. But he doesn't have very decent internet, so I'm making videos here, gotta go back and then upload them over there. So this is really not optimal at all. Oh, it's weird. Also, you notice that I may be a little bit bouncy. That's because I'm on a bed right now, and I don't know, if you want to paint me like one of your French girls, go ahead, but it's just going to look awful. So let's get into this game, by the way. The silly times are over and behind us. Korean Army. I have spoke very, very highly of the man. He is a strong infantry player, even in the Wehrmacht faction. He just really delivers entertaining games, and surely he's going to deliver one today, because Aljaz, on the other hand, has been absolutely creaming all of the opponents he's faced against, and then decorating them with marshmallows and slurping them with a straw. It's just been pretty fast-paced for him, and yet again, we're going to see another Aljaz game. This time round, though, he's going to face a more serious opponent, surely. We get further and further into the tournament, and that's what goes on. Asking who is going to go for the VPs first, I see it is going to be Aljaz on the detective case, but in could be the Pioneers, which will most likely man this really annoying hut here. Can they fire at this distance? I believe they cannot, but they should be able to protect that munitions point right there. Engineers and Pioneers at the bottom here, and already Korean Army is finessing his infantry play with the Pioneers. That's where we're going to start off. If you play insanely well with your Pioneers and win those battles, then you're further ahead than your opponent right off the get-go with the start of the game. Volksgrenadiers coming around, perhaps negating some of that heavy cover there, but sandbags were down. Freaking sweet already. I can expect to see more of this from Korean Army. The engineers are turning back round. We have rifleman support and a second rifleman squad just been produced. Someone will most likely occupy this house, and if Aljaz sees the Volksgrenadiers are on their way, he should be able to nip in there before that even happens. The engineers, on the other hand, trying to stop the Pioneers from capturing that VPs. They are not looking well, losing 2 guys already. The Volks, on the other hand, taking the light cover behind the trees. This house shouldn't have too much windows to fire out. I think like 3 or 4. 2, in fact. I was entirely wrong. It's very important to take note. This map is Semoise, by the way. Forgot to mention this. Semoise is a fantastic map. You'll see most of the greatest games on Semoise. That and Langres as well. The players consider them very, very balanced. More sandbags down here, by the way, from Korean Army. And he is going to really put the pain on these guys in the building, because there's only 3 windows they can fire out of overall. We've got 5 Volk squads in heavy cover. Or at least most of them are. And it just adds up to more firepower on the Volks' behalf. If we want to really, really improve this, by the way, not to just sort of nitpick, but we could have built this sandbag a little bit further away. The Volks have more damage than the Riflemen over long range. Riflemen, even when they have the bars, it only so much as does like a certain amount of effectiveness at mid-range. Great mid-range, but long-range damage massively falls off, whereas the Kar-98 rifles that the Volks are sporting, they will just keep their damage over long range. They're absolutely amazing at that. as well as not take as much damage because the rifles, the M1 Grand rifles from the Americans. Ooh, now we've revealed a sniper very early on. I don't think Korean Army really wanted to do that, and I don't know why the Flamethrower squad wants to come in here, but they're sneaking by. Gonna try and burn that sniper. That... What the hell, Aljaz? So Aljaz is going with the Commando Flamethrower unit, which has already burned a sniper. That is one heck of a bold play, and it's one play that really paid off. And that's going to hurt Korean Army for the next 5 minutes until he can get back on his feet. Surely this guy, the king of infantry play on Wehrmacht, will not fall to such weird, unusual strategies and tactics from Aljaz. But Aljaz is really in the zone. From all his previous games. There's that MG suppressing. The fuel point has been neutralized. Equally so, though, the story is true for Korean Army. He managed to neutralize this munitions point right here, and it looks as if he's managed to get an MG right onto the cutoff point of Aljaz. And if that lays down and is able to stick there for some time, it's gonna be a heck of a base pin for Korean Army. He can move around and start capturing all of this territory, and Aljaz is going to have to try, and we've seen games on Senwars like this before. It is very difficult to get out of a situation like this. There are still, well, okay, not that many rooms open to Aljaz, but he can cut that barbed wire no problem, and there's room down here, which engineers are already sneaking around, so not too bad. We have one rifleman squad which has managed to make it through, and they're going to try and just... Well, they've succeeded already. We've got grenades down here as well. Ho-ho! Taking out 3 Volksgrenadiers with that one grenade. That is a fine play there. Our MG42 had to retreat from here or be pushed off and killed, potentially giving away an MG42 as well. But that allows more riflemen to move across the bridge and hopefully secure a foothold on this central little location. The graveyard is where a battle is going to occur now. And one of the things I love about this map is there's a lot of heavy cover around here. It's really an unusual layout for a map. Like, you wouldn't expect to see a location like this ever exist, with these two rivers side by side, or small lakes or ponds. I'm not really sure what the correct geographical term for them is, but regardless, it makes for a fine battlefield, and the riflemen are using, unfortunately not using, they do manage to get suppressed by the 2 MGs in this area. That is a massive retreat there. This bush here was not able to stop them from being suppressed. I thought that was a line of sight blocker for the infantry, but no, that did not happen. Pioneers on the north side capturing that munitions. We have the VP still being taken into consideration by Korean Army, and he does have a sniper out. So it's 2 Volks, 2 snipers, but one of them died, let's not forget that, and 2 MGs. The Grenadier Center should be popping out soon. It is 8 minutes 30 seconds on the clock, and Korean Army, almost as if he's making his opponent always fight him in infantry styles. I don't know what it is, but like Korean Army, when it's not just that Korean Army fights a lot of infantry playstyle, he fights with infantry, that is. His opponents tend to also fight back heavily infantry-based as well. Now, largely, for those of you that freaking know, allies are a very heavily infantry-focused doctrine, especially in 1v1. But we've had a fair amount of games in Company of Heroes which do end up being somewhat armor-based, with the whole M10 platoons going up against Stugs and stuff like that. It's not too unusual, but it certainly is a odd one to see. But Korean Army, you're going to have to deal with a weapon support center. He's got a sniper out, which means Great will be able to counter-snipe at the... Ooh, 2 mines down here. One of which is Korean Army's, the other of which is not. So we had 2 mines side by side there, interestingly enough. A sniper revealed yet again from Korean Army. Where is that allied sniper? Do we have barbed wire being cut down here? 1 more mine being exploded as well. There's that sniper from Fireball, Aljaz. Oh, I really want to say Fireball. Fireball is a much cooler name from Aljaz, but that's just names for you. I'm sorry, I feel sad if Aljaz is watching this, but Fireball, yeah, as opposed to, what the hell is Aljaz? That's not like a verbal doing word at all. Well, nor is fireball, really, but it's, you know, I'm going to fireball over there. You could use it as a verb. Names which are verbs are very, very strong. We have our Krieg barracks out, and very much known to Aljaz, sneaking inside the base. No one's really noticed that these riflemen are here just yet. Sure, they've fired quite a lot of bullets into the buildings, but those are stealth bullets. Very, very stealthy bullets. Our Volksgrenadiers have moved up to the strategic important point for Aljaz. We have a howitzer strike down. Possibly in the base, yes, and it's gonna try and take out the Krieg barracks right away, shall we? These are some mighty fine hits from the howitzer strike, all deadly accurate. That one missed. We have one more. It does manage to get it. That was the last one. So lucky Aljaz is. Putting the fireball right onto the base, and Korean army is just going to pretend that didn't even happen. I'm going to sit down my Krieg barracks here, and it's not really a great setting for Korean army. He's lost his early game sniper and his Krieg barracks right as it was constructed. Aljaz is highly suspicious here. He's just been... Every time something significant is produced from the base, he's had some unit down there to take it out. And that's just unlucky. Perhaps if he didn't place that sniper inside the bunker, he wouldn't have taken additional flamethrower damage. But we cannot go and venture into the past at the moment. Huge battle between these engineers and Volks here, and it seems like the engineers are doing one heck of a job on all of the Volks. Wow, they're even getting some veterancy promotions there. 6 kills for the flamethrower, and chasing them away. Die, dogs! Die! But RMG has managed to set itself upon inside the building, not on the top floor, which would... you ought to think is a fine place for an MG to go, as opposed to the bottom floor. We have mines down there from Korean army set upon the road as well. Let's not get inside the building. Let's not make that same mistake again. It would be highly erroneous to do so. RMG is going to move back behind the wall in the graveyard area. Hardly any support, though. We need infantry to move into the area and help this MG at the moment, because we have a mortar which is being placed just behind the... I don't know what this area is really called. There's like a few supply crates and some like notes here. Perhaps one of the latest bands is out, but that mortar is going to be a hard counter to the MGs inside of the building. Wherever they decide to set themselves down, that mortar is sure to be firing on that location, supporting the ground forces. The territory has been slightly disconnected from this strategic point here, which means no +16 munitions, and we still get the victory point. Don't you worry about that. We have decided to go get a half-track out, and that is an interesting unit to bring out. Korean army is still going to follow upon his tracks of, I want to have strong infantry play. I'm going to fight you infantry, and if you're going to fight me back on infantry, I'm going to pickle well win. Oh, those pickles are always finding them way into them. My cast somehow. Oh, big explosion there between the mine and the motorcycle. I think the mine won that one, but the mine kind of lost its life in the process. So, you win some, you lose some. We might even see the mortar run across the... for a moment there, I thought the mortar was trying to get inside the building. Yeah, let's do some of that. In fact, one of my friends did something very similar. Like, he's a StarCraft player, and... he just kind of built all his units clumped up together, and he had mortars in there, expecting the mortars were essentially just splash damage. Like, they just did splash damage wherever they were. They just ran around with it like that in their hands, like serious sand cannon. Just fired and did splash damage. I was wondering, maybe you can do that with mortars, just set them in the window, face them horizontally, and fire them like a grenade launcher. It would certainly make a heck of a tactic. Now, we're trying to push these riflemen in. Unfortunately, the riflemen don't want to be swimmers, so they're not going to go into the water. They're just going to stick around, not taking any crush damage. I know that's a half-track game. You don't have to tell me twice. Game's thinking I'm blind here. Oh, a wonderful mortar shot. Got to be careful, though, because there are some MINES mines down right on that point where all of the infantry troops were sat upon. There goes the half-track, a very early and saddening loss for Korean army yet again, losing some more vital instruments of war to Aljaz. And Aljaz isn't exactly I don't know. He's not. I mean, he should be in a really, really strong position. He should be absolutely crushing his opponent right now. He's taken a lot of special units, special stuff from Korean army, but territory-wise, he's only splitting this like halfway. It's good. It's good, but it certainly could be more good enough, let's say. Taking a grenade like the true trooper he is. Return fire grenade as well from the grenadiers, but this guy is a hardy soldier. He just kind of puts his foot onto the grenade and is like, yeah, that'll stop the explosion. My steel toe-capped boots is more than enough for one of your grenades. MGs yet again having to retreat because of the advancing rifleman forces, which have hit a mine. Oh, facepalm. Oh my god, more facepalm as we hit more mines in the middle this time round. Again, I'm going to come back to Company of Heroes 2 because that's not far away now. Sega have acquired THQ for anyone which hasn't noticed. There is also a tank depot out for anyone which hasn't noticed. And Sega, like, this could be promising, really. Like, Sega, responsible for Total War. Acquiring Relic, responsible for Warhammer and Company of Heroes. These are two top realistic teams with heavy experience and financial backing between them. In the future, I'm not talking perhaps expansions for Company of Heroes 2. We could be seeing some very spiffy content. So that's just a little bit of news out there as well. On top of that, there's all the forums I've got. Check the descriptions of the video, and yeah, I'll just say that really from now on. Check the descriptions if you're bored for a moment. It's got a lot of information inside there. We are clearing some of the mines on the field. That's why they're called minefields. It should be on a pop quiz, really. That mortar is still firing. Do we have a return fire mortar? Because I'm hearing, yes, we do. Oh, I love mortar wars. And the mortar of the Axis is of greater range than the mortar of the Allies. So they should be able to engage from a longer range. However, do remember that the longer you are, or not the longer you are, like the taller I am, the further you are away, the less accurate, the greater the area of effect is, essentially. Oh, we have like a spoiler, not a spoiler, I don't even know what that is, I'm not a car person, but here comes the howitzer strike again, right on target, taking out that MG, but not taking out the whole squad. Oh, the mortar taking some big losses there, and one of the howitzer strikes doing some damage to their own troops as well. We recognize that there's a mine on the field. Good job, minesweepers. Hopefully we didn't lose too many important units in that howitzer strike. It seems like we did okay, though. Korean army is going to be able to stagger on right now. The poor guy, though. He's almost being shunted back into his base. Oh, that horrible screaming. Now, that is one way to clear a mine out, using the grenades there. But, pro tip, don't stand on the mine when you throw the grenade onto the mine. I've had shifty experiences, you know, where it doesn't quite work out to plan. It's not 100% guarantee, but it certainly is a slim chance that you may blow your leg off. You just may blow it off. But, by the way, we do have allies selected by our wonderful overlord of the battlefield, Aljaz. As for Korean army, we've had that little blitzkrieg effect upon him. But most likely, it could be for the fatherland as well. Actually, I wonder if that's different logos upon their head. I've not actually taken notice, but for the fatherland or blitzkrieg, it's more likely to be for the fatherland. However, early game on, we have a Sherman out here now, chasing down those pioneers which have entered the wrong place. It's not the way you want to be. You want to be retreating the other way, perhaps. Just putting it out there, poor pioneers. And it seems like now Korean army is going to have a battle for his own base. Like, there's an MG set itself down facing this road. There's only one way out of this base now, which doesn't lead to suppression, and that's Puma. However, Puma hard countered by Sherman. Sherman hard counter Puma, and Puma is going to not have a wonderful time trying to kill this MG. However, we could just kind of roam around here. Gotta be careful of the rifleman with the sticky grenades, because that would surely take out the engine of an armored car, and that would be so easy for the Sherman to just chase it down. We decided to retreat all infantry on the field, and we're going to leave this battle down to the Sherman. And I think that is a great choice, really. There's nothing here that the Sherman cannot handle. So let's get those troops healed up, and we'll bring them back into full force, and it's going to be even more difficult for Korean army to get himself out of this horrible, horrible bind. Our Sherman, however, is just going to retreat behind this building. I'm not too sure why he wishes to do such a thing. He is more than welcome to just sit right here until there's a Pak-38 firing on him, in which case he can retreat right there and then. But he's playing the safest one could possibly play, and just be very close to this building. He can reverse when he needs to, and he'll be right out there. It's down to the mortar to destroy this Sherman. It ain't gonna work. Oh, he does get a direct hit. Clap, clap. No worries there. There goes the Panzer Shrek. And there goes the horrible loss of these infantry soldiers' lives. They stood no chance, really. Perhaps they were trying to salvage some of the front armor of the Sherman. Giving a clear shot for the Panzer Shrek. Incoming a Stug. Stug versus Sherman. Stug will win. The Stug will win as long as it is not flanked. And it is going to be a difficult situation for the Sherman to actually obtain a flank. Like, he can come around the side of the building, but like, there's a Panzer Shrek there guarding it. This is a unison raid effect here. The Panzer Shrek will help protect the Stug, and the Stug will do a lot of damage, just being the aggressor of the situation. Send that Stug in to fight that Sherman, and if anyone tries to get behind the Stug, then that is what the Panzer Shrek is for, armor-wise. Anyway, we have an M10, and that is exactly what that Panzer Shrek is for, so the Stug should be relatively safe. It is on full health. We need some engineers repairing this Sherman now. That is exactly what's going on too. So all players really doing the best they can out of the situation at the moment in time. At least from what I can like speculate. Here come the Rangers. The Rangers are the ones to hard counter the Grenadiers there. In comes the M10 Wolverine. Puma is not going to be a difficult problem. We'll have to retreat that out of there. And the Rangers, of course, they can deal with a Puma. Pumas can deal with Rangers as well, but I'm going to put my money on Rangers every single time to hit that target and destroy the Puma before the Puma destroys them. It's just one of those things where damage works both ways. They do so much damage to each other. It's just who does more damage to the other guy first. Someone's going to die quickly anyway. Our Rangers now, they want to take out the Puma wreckage, making sure there is no way in hell that there's going to be extra pocket money to spend for the Axis forces. Incoming the M10 Wolverine to go crush some of Korean Army's finest pioneers. It's a shame. This battle cannot be won anymore, Korean Army. What the hell's going on? Our Stug is the only unit which could do anything about this situation. Let's go in for a heavy crush effect. Booyah! Right over the top of the Rangers. No, he's going to cower inside of his base. Please do it. Please do it. Oh, a howitzer strike. This is going to put a dent in the day of Korean Army. Actually, not on target this time round. They do manage to escape with possibly 0 damage done to them. We have a Pak-38 out here. What can the Pak-38 do? Contribute to this miserable situation that he is in at the moment. Really, the positions are horrible. We do have no more munitions to spend on the howitzer, shooty rooty, tutti frutti, but it won't be too long until that's up again. Literally, like, just under 2 minutes time, and we'll be ready to fire that again. So if that Pak-38 can do something within that small time frame, then heck yeah, we can push out back into the middle, get an MG set down here, bring up a few more Stugs, get some good positionings, remember the basics as well, acquire territory. Really, the list is quite long for Korean Army, as opposed to Aljaz, who really only has one thing to do, and that's hold his ground here. That is it. If he can hold his ground there, he will be fine. And here comes the push out. We have our Panzer Shreks, funnily enough, getting suppressed. Firing on the wrong targets. That's that mortar doing its work there. Friendly fire mortar, perhaps. Our Sniper here with 11 kills, supporting the rifleman squad. Do we have that sniper still alive? Yes, we do. 11 kills also. So the sniper's still kicking it at the moment. Our M10 Wolverine, unlike most M10 Wolverines which I've seen in the tournament, is actually taking the role of the Sherman. Like, the Sherman and the M10 Wolverine should really be swapped. The M10 came around and took the damage, whereas the Sherman took the flank maneuver. Well played, well played, well played. Good game from Korean Army. What a trooper and what a game. But Aljaz, I did not expect this. He did a really good job of withering away a Korean Army, and slowly but surely Korean Army kind of gave way towards the end there. So congratulations on winning the first game between you two. Aljaz is the one to score a point. This is still gonna go on though. We still have to have Aljaz win one more game before he goes through into the finals. Or will Korean Army stop this man in his tracks and get his act together? Find out in the next game, guys. I'm Inuki. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Sayonara.